Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to Bolt Fanatics. I'm Chris Bolt.
Damon Melcho with Xtreme Bait Tanks.
And today we've had the honor to come aboard with Steve Daniel, pro angler, and we are at Lake Okeechobee here in Florida, and we're fishing for largemouth bass. So what is the best way, what strategy are we going to use today to catch these largemouth bass?
We're going to use the biggest shiners we can find. And luckily we got a boat full of big shiners.
Awesome.
And if you only have 1 or 2 days to try to catch a trophy bass on Lake Okeechobee, shiner fishing is by far the best way of doing it. You know, the shiners don't have to trick the bass. When you're fishing lures, you have to trick them. Sometimes you got to be a really good angler to catch a big fish on artificial baits. The shiner does all the work. It's my job to put you in a place where they live, and hopefully the shiner will do the rest.
That's perfect. I always love live bait fishing, especially when we have...
What's that?
Especially when we have the right means to hold these nice shiners. You know, we're fishing with what, 7, 8 inch
shiners.
Yeah, so y'all stay tuned. We're gonna show you what we got.
Kind of pull forward a little bit more, and they have a tendency to get on the surface a little better too. And I don't fish them very deep. Of course, it's only a couple feet deep out there, maybe 2.5, but that shiner swims really good that way. 12-inch balloon, just fill it full of air. You don't blow it up, you just fill it full of air about the size of an egg. And that balloon gives me better feedback. It's so light, and like I say, if I make a little pitch, see how it just follows the bait? It's so light it just follows the bait. I can be a little more subtle. But I can tell by the way that balloon goes through the water if it's a shiner swimming, because sometimes they can't pull it down because it's so shallow.
Yeah.
And I can tell by the way that balloon goes through the water if it's the bait or it's the bass or something you got a hold of. See that shiner, he gets really active when you hook him in the back like that. And you see he's on the surface there. I usually like to fish 1 rod per person. That way you can kind of, you could pull up and throw 4 or 5 of them out, but it's not necessary. You can use as many rods as you want down here in Florida, but usually just keeping 1 out there and watching him. On a good day, you'll go through 5, 6 dozen shiners, sometimes more than that. Depends on the bite. We pulled up in places and gone through 5 dozen shiners and not moved the boat. There's that many fish migrating down the edge or something. Shiner, he's doing his job right there. He's kicking around. Oh, watch this. See, one's after him. See, there he goes.
There he goes.
When you want to set the hook, you do it like this. You just reel down, and you don't set the hook hard. It's not like a circle hook. You just kind of get the line tight and pull. Well, that didn't take very long. He's braided line, 65 pounds that's braid. And that's not a real big one, but he's a nice bass.
Oh, yeah.
Could be a big male right here because it's kind of skinny, but live bait, you just catch bigger fish, you know, and that's just a nice size fish right there.
Wow, look at that. Been feeding up.
Shiner tail too. Sometimes they'll have a tilapia tail sticking out of them. Healthy, these fish in this lake are really, really healthy right now. This water is really clear. You can see the bottom. The lake's in great shape. Let's throw him back and catch another one.
Yeah, let's go get another fish. I know. Catch a little bit of everything.
Everything eats shiners. That's the eating size there.
I'll get her right there.
See if he wants to shine. Yeah. He wants it. He's a little too big for him.
Making a hole, making a hole.
This is extreme bass fishing, you know, shiner fishing. When you can throw your shiner in a place like that little hole right there and be able to catch a fish and get him out. Sometimes when you go to a place like that, you gotta be ready because sometimes it happens really fast. You just don't feed all the time. You know, it's just, a lot of people think if you get around and you can catch them, that's not the case at all. But if you throw one back in there where he lives, sometimes they can't resist.
We're fishing with live shiners, using balloons with only about 1.5 foot of a steel hook. We catch a fish right here. The only way to get him out of this is with that steel hook. Just like that, y'all. Beauty. You gotta bring the bass to
Hey, it doesn't count till he's in the boat.
You know, getting a bite and getting them in the boat is two different.
Absolutely. We just saw that right there. That was close.
That was from beginning to end. All right, guys.
So how do we release him?
Gotta just make a hole in the grass.
Woo! Extreme, baby. Got him. Hey, who's got him?
Oh, Lordy, you kidding me? Joke's on me.
Joke's on me.
You guys are, oh.
Another one bites the dust.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty grass there. It really is.
That grass is just starting to grow. It wasn't in here 6 weeks ago.
Really?
There's no grass out there. I was really getting concerned about it too. You gotta have grass.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's on. Coming up from. Oh, it's all in yours. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, that's the only thing, the float. The only thing bad about those balloons, they touch the line, they tend to grab it.
All right. Nice fish.
This thing's rigged.
This thing. We put a divider in the water right there. So
What a day. What a beautiful body of water. Would you mind telling us a little bit about you?
Well, I came down here in 1985. I started fishing the Bassmasters Tour. I took a year off from work. Luckily had a good year my first year, and I fell in love with this place, and I've been here ever since. Over 30 years now.
Yeah.
And we do a radio show now on the weekends and guide whenever we can.
Hooked up with Steve and Deb.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a very
How long have
popular
you been
show.
doing the radio show?
About 8 years now.
Okay.
Long time.
And now you've got a guide service.
We've always had a guide service.
All right.
I've always been here guiding and teaching. You know, Tommy Sanders at ESPN always called me the teacher on the tour because I always like teaching people how to do stuff. And I love it when guys bring their own boats down and I can take them out. I want everybody to catch fish when they come here.
But when I was telling people that I was coming down to Lake Okeechobee, you know what some of the #1 replies back I got was?
What's that?
Lake Okeechobee is on my bucket list.
Yeah.
They want to fish the lake. I'm telling you right now, if you want to have the best experience of Lake Okeechobee, look up Steve Daniels and let him give you the direction on whatever it is you're looking for. How would somebody reach you in order to do that?
Well, we're all over the place. They can look up Steve Daniel on Facebook.
And we'll put your contact information on this post as well. But highly recommend it.
You know, we do a lot of live bait fishing down here.
Right.
Although, you know, I'm a tournament fisherman. I love throwing lures at them. But live bait fishing, you know, people come to Okeechobee and if they're only going to be here for a day or two and they want to try to catch a big one, you know, these fish are kind of hard to catch anyway if you're a real good angler. But I tell you, you throw live bait in Lake Okeechobee, someone that's never caught a fish before can catch a double-digit fish, or 8 or 9 pounder. This lake is full of 7 pounders. So it's just, you know, live bait fishing is something I really love to do.
Fish on. Well, just so you know, we couldn't stand not to have bait in the water.
Okay, how can you fish Okeechobee and not having shiner?
There we go.
Hold on just a second, y'all.
Hey, Chris running the camera and the rod, multitasking. All right, here's to all of our.
This lake is full of catfish too, and everything about a shiner down here. You'll catch a lot of different kinds of fish. You know, we have bowfins. We've got a lot of fish.
These are good eating if you want to,
They're
right?
very good to eat.
Yeah, I'm tempted, but we'll
we'll
save that for another day. I didn't know. Because most of us, we carry our tanks with us.
Yeah.
So like we did this morning, so this is what I learned. You'll take your boat to the marina,
Yep.
get your bait, it goes in here, and like you said, you keep your tank on the truck. Just another application for the tank, your way, and it serves that purpose.
But I think they get better when you put them in the Xtreme tank. They like that a lot better than they like in here. You know, I'm fishing like we did 30 years ago here when Roland Martin made shiner fishing, kind of put it on the map down here on Lake Okeechobee. And like I say, now it's on the bucket list of a lot of anglers to come here. And I get a lot of those over the years, and a lot of guys in their 80s. And you can see it's not that difficult, you know, to catch some fish on live bait.
No, but you do need to know the little ins and outs of what to do for the bigger fish.
You got to be around them. You know, I tell everybody all the time, I don't care how good a fisherman you are, if you're not around very many, you're not going to catch very many. And that's where I come in. I know the places that, you know, I had a place on the north end I was going to go, but we didn't go because of the wind direction.
Right.
I know where you can't. You know, I've won 2 big tournaments in Okeechobee. I've won 2 FLW events here. And won one in 1996, the very first year. I beat Roland by 8 ounces. And I won here again in 2000. I won $110,000 that week. And the only reason I won, I knew where not to go fishing. I knew where I at least had a chance, and put myself in places where I knew I was going to catch some. But if you don't know the water, you know, and that's with any guide anywhere in the country, you know, trust your guide. And if he says we need to go here, you know, you got to trust him because he's got a reason for doing that usually, and he wants you to catch fish.
Well,
you know?
I learned a long time ago. The hard way, mind you. My dad would always say, do this, this, and this, and I have to do it my own way and figure out, you know what? He actually knew what he's talking about. So I learned a long time ago, if I just listen to people who've got the experience, and that's like what we're doing with our Bait Fish Friday. We're just trying to get that information out there so people can not have to go through all those hoops to try to figure it out on their own. But, well, again, I can't tell you how much we're enjoying it. So I want to thank you very much again. Looking forward to the rest of the day here on the lake with you. And see if we can't get into that. Well, I'd love to double, but you're saying 7, 8. I'll be happy with that too.
Yeah, you take what the lake will
Absolutely.
give you. That's all. You know,
Beautiful
it's a new
day.
experience every time you come out here. You never know what Okeechobee's going to give you. It can be as tough as any lake you've ever fished, and it can be better than any lake you've ever fished.
Love it.
You don't ever know till you get out here.
Well, I like where the tanks take us. Here we are on Lake Okeechobee. So
that's a good phrase. Go where the tanks.
That's been the journey for sure.
Now, that acts like a mudfish there.
He's
got a hold of it. Something's got it. Just let him swim on out here. I guarantee you that's a mudfish.
Yeah,
watch it be a 9-pound bass, because I've been wrong before.
He's got it though.
Yeah, he's got it. Now go to your float, raise your rod up, and go to the float with your slack. Now pull.
Got him. All right. Look at that. Perfect. My first gar. Crazy looking thing. Look at the teeth on that thing. Bass, all right.
Little bass, little 3 pound.
Hey, corner of the mouth.
Look at the size.
Look at the size of that.
That just goes to show you what they can eat.
Look at that guy, about a 3-pound largemouth and a 1-pound bait.
And you can catch a fish a lot smaller than that on a shiner that size too. That's why you got to have good bait.
That's good bait, good fish. Ah. Back you go.
You want another shiner?
I can get one. Go back, buddy. Yes! I love when they do that. Steve, what kind of hook do you have there?
It's called a kale bait hook. It's kind of like a circle hook,
Yeah.
but they work really good for shiners.
Was that about number 7?
This is about a 5.
A 5.
5/0. For big shiners, you need at least a 5/0. And if you hook them in the tail, even bigger, if you can find them. They're hard to find bigger than a 5/0.
Okay.
But that's the traditional shiner hook. Like I say, sometimes the great big shiners, you need to hook them through the nose because there's just a lot of meat there. There's just a lot of stuff that can get in the way of that hook set.
Yeah.
You know, when that hook is back toward the tail. So if you got a big shiner and you're hooking them back toward the tail, go as far back as you can. Get them in the thinnest part. That makes them want to swim away from you. They'll swim up under the mat. Hook them in the nose, they'll swim anywhere. Sometimes every hour you'll catch one. It's such a pretty spot though. You got this pretty floating mat out there that's all open underneath. It's like a big dock.
Yep.
Now these are water hyacinths right here. And the roots hang down about that far. And all kind of critters, little grass shrimp and stuff live in these roots. And it's just good cover for the bass. The problem with hyacinths is they can get so thick. They say a group of hyacinths, say that little group of hyacinths right out there, it can double in size in 7 days.
Wow.
That's what the biologists get to study, you know, our vegetation here.
So that's why you
They
said
can actually take over a lake if you don't keep it under control. But when it's cloudy like this, they can be, there's nowhere they can't be. Hadn't been that way this year so far. I did a deal with Roland one time. We were filming a show.
We got a runner.
oh, it's a runner.
You got him.
Wow. Look at that guy. Good. Hey, look at the belly on that guy.
Yes, sir.
That is it. Hold it up. That, my friends, is a Lake Okeechobee bass right there.
We haven't been here 5 minutes.
8.3.
8.3 pounds.
Now get some good
Stud.
pictures of it. You can enter this in trophy catch.
So we made it back to the dock. What an amazing experience. Steve, thank you so much, buddy. Damon,
Hey, pal.
thank you, man.
And Steve, absolutely appreciate it.
Always a blast.
And you, hey, you caught your trophy size largemouth.
Yep.
So where are we going now?
Clearwater.
Well, taxidermist.
Oh yeah, taxidermy.
Yeah, the fish got gut hooked. It was gonna die anyway, so you might as well mount it.
Yeah.
Go to mount one.
Yeah.
Not
So-
many, I know people who's fished all their lives never caught an 8-pounder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Always good.
It's been an
Love it.
absolute blast, and what an amazing experience. Definitely knocked this off our bucket list.
Hey,
Well,
next
and I
time
tell
we
you, talk
need
about
rain-
buckets. Yeah.
Next time we need rain, we're gonna call you guys.
Yeah, because we have
The whole
we
time you've
had
been here in the winter, it never rains in the winter.
Well, we brought it all the way from Virginia. Well, Kentucky too.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it drove down with us. But I do appreciate it. And until next time, buddy, thank y'all for watching.